Hello everyone, Clock the Game here. I just thought I'd bring you another video, a deck profile after a long while, and kind of fill you in with what's been happening and why there's been such a long time since uploads. There's been a lot going on with me. I finally finished my PhD, so I am Dr. Clock for Game now, I suppose. That's been 5.5 years in the works, and it's been an incredibly difficult but enjoyable time. But now that's done with, I've ended up having to move as well. So currently I'm back home, which has been very nice. It's been a lot cheaper. It's been a lot more settled. But I do miss my old apartment. So there's been a lot going on with me over this time, and it's been quite the journey. I've not really had time to upload, and when I have had time, unfortunately, I've been ill as well. Nothing terrible, but just a series of head colds and things like that I'm only just getting over. However, I thought I'd bring you a deck profile because I will be going to some upcoming BCSs, and one of my favourite decks seems to be viable again. So just to give you a little bit of preamble, Date Live, I suppose, has always been viable in some way, shape or form. It's got a lot of different decks you can build on it, and this card here, this Terrible Spirit Kurumi, is still a very strong finisher. I never really understood why it was on the ban list, but now I've actually been playing this deck properly again and understand the game a little more. I very much understand why it's on the ban list. It's a quite a nutty card. I think this recent ban list, or the ban list from a couple of months ago now, has helped Data Live quite a lot. So I'll be taking you through the deck profile. I'll be taking you through some of the things that I've added into this deck that I don't usually see people play. And so this is an 8 standby Data Live profile, but it's got a bit more of a focus on the blue, and I will explain why as we go through. So your basic setup is 8 standby. You've got 4 of the Kurumi standby and then 4 of the Yodbet Kurumi standby, kind of par the course at this moment. But for the level zeros, we've got the best card in the set, which is the Trial Deck Toker. So this is on play, draw 1, reveal top card of deck. If it's a Data Live character, add it to hand, and then ditch 1. And then if you want, you can ditch 1, draw 1 as well. Ditch a character, draw 1 as well. This is just very nice for deck speed, very nice for fixing your hand, and just a very nice card overall. I run this at 4 because you definitely want to see this, especially early game, and setting it up. And it's quite good all the way through the game as well. Now you've got 3 of the Data Bullet, Ricky, which is just on play, pay 1, ditch a character from waiting room to bottom of clock. Not ditch a character, it's pay 1 and then clock a character from your waiting room to the bottom of clock, and search your deck for a level 1 or lower card. Just let me change my light there. There we go, that's better. So this is just very handy. Obviously, as a standby deck, you want to be able to have as much control over your levels as possible. You want to run a fair amount of Rickies or ways to get yourself up, because if your opponent leaves you at, say, 1-5 and you really want to get your level 2s out, or they leave you at 0-5 and you really want to get your level 1s out or 2s or whatever you need, you really want to have control over your leveling, just because it allows you to access better things with your standby cards. So that's the 3 of the Data Bullet, Ricky, and then you've got the set 2 on reverse Ricky, which is on reverse mill 2, salvage up to level. So this is quite nice. Here is one of the reasons why I wanted to add some more blue, because the ban list was you could only have this or the level 1 Yoshino. But now you can have both of them, and I think a lot more versatility has come out of the deck because of that, and I really feel that Date Alive is a bit of a sleeper deck, really, now, because it seems to have all the pieces here. I could be wrong, but it feels very strong. And from when I've played it as well, it feels very strong, it feels very consistent. So if you don't know what this does, this is a tap 2 brainstorm to search deck, but also on climax placement, you can bounce this card back to your hand, which frees up a slot for you to standby something out, and then you can add, you can give 1,000 power to something on your board. It's a very, very, very handy card, very good card as well for getting over boards. This Kotori, this is just for consistency's sake, so when it's placed on stage, look at top 2, rearrange, and then pay 1, put a card from put a card from your hand to waiting room, so pay 1, ditch 1, and then, what is it, search or salvage now? Oh yeah, salvage a character in waiting room, give something 1,000, so a very nice power boost. Here's a card that I'm testing. This may come out, this may be handy, but I feel like this gives another bit of deck speed as well, because as you've probably seen, especially when you're running things like 8 standby or something like that, you can run through your climaxes quite quickly. So this allows a bit more deck speed to reset your deck. And what it is pay 1 and ditch this card to waiting room, or send it to waiting room from stage. Look at top 4 cards from deck. Look at choose up to 1 Date Alive character or Celestial Spirit character, and then add it to hand. Put the rest in waiting room, and then pay 1, tap 2. If you've got 2 or more other Date Alive characters, mill 3, draw 1. I think it's just quite a nice card. Here's just another Ricky. This is quite a nice one. Just ditch from one from hand into clock. So this allows you to manipulate your level a little bit. I use this card, or I'm trying to use it a little bit more for leveling up a piece that I want to go into waiting room as well. So it's clock 1 from hand, search deck for 1, shuffle deck. That's about it. This can search out any character, whereas this one here is just level 1 or lower. So do be aware of that. Don't accidentally break a rule and get a game loss or something. And then you've just got your bog standard climax swapper. So onto the level 1s. I have decided, at least for now, to stay with the normal Kurumis. They gain power 1/5 if you've got 2 or more other Date Alive or Celestial Spirit characters, so she's going to be sat on 7/5. I don't think a lot of decks can get over these at the moment. I know Lika Rico might have difficulty getting over that. I'm not sure about Bunny Girl, but certainly they will need a lot of decks will need a fair amount of boosting to get over these, because the level 1s seem to be quite small at the minute. Nikkei can't get over them. Lika Rico can't really get over them. I will be showing you another option for this later on, but that's it really for this, and it's a ditch encore as well. It sticks around. It allows you to manipulate your hand as well by ditching something to waiting room that you might need. Here's another little bit of blue that I've been liking. All she is a double trigger, and if you've got 2 or more, she gains 1,000 as well. She's not massive, but certainly the double trigger helps, especially when you're hitting those climaxes. So let's say you hit a standby climax, you can just pay it out with this. It's just a very handy little card to have. Here's the Yoshino that I was speaking about. This card is utterly cracked, and it's very nice to have this card along with the level 0 Toka Brainstorm. So what you can do if you really wanted, if your opponent is playing something with a lot of standbys, or not standbys, yes, or a lot of early plays. So for example, Nikkei, you want to get rid of those Alices. So what you can do is you can, on climax placement, bounce the token back to hand, give something 1,000, then tutor this out to the back row. And then at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1 and drag one of your characters from the back and replace it with this at the front. When it becomes reversed, it's a level killer. It's very, very, very handy. It's an early play killer, and it's so handy for getting rid of things like Alice. So if you go against the Modernia Biscuit deck, they're always going to want to get their Alices out so they can keep top decking your reversed characters, and this is a way to deal with it. This is another test card. It's a bit of a funny card. During your turn, it's 1,000 boost, which is quite handy, but it's tap, pay 4, choose one of your opponent's characters and deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to that character's soul. So if they got something with a big soul out or something like that, or you need the extra 2 chip damage and you've got a load of stock spare, you can use it for that. I don't particularly like it, but it is an interesting tech piece. I'll see how I feel about it. Then we've got another one of Data Live's best cards, which is the My Little Shido event. I don't run a great deal of yellow in this deck, so this might be a bit situational, but just because I do run some yellow, it's well worth the run anyway. So this is tap a character, and you can either look at top 4 cards from deck, add a character to hand, which is good anyway, it's a free brainstorm. Choose one of your opponent's characters and down level it, level 1 or higher characters, mind you, and down level it. Very, very good at dealing with early plays again, or if they've got some big boss characters out that you really don't want them using. And then you can add, if your hand is 6 or less, you can salvage a level 3. This would be very handy for all of the effects, but I think the bottom effect is very handy to adding this back. Because you only have 2 copies of this. You want to make sure that you've got your level 3 Kurimis in hand to use as quickly as possible. So, put those aside. Level 2's very, very simple. I'll just start off with the one of. All this is a 2/5 backup at level 2, and it's a free fresh. That's all you need. If you are having a difficult game where you've milled through a lot of climaxes or you've ended up hitting a lot of climaxes, this could be very handy just for resetting your deck. A free fresh is always nice. This is the level 2 Toka. Now, generally people run the level 2 Kurumi with the double trigger. So the Toka, this Toka I very much like. When she's placed, or in your turn, sorry, or not even in your turn, sorry, cross turn, that's even better. She gains 1,000 power for each Data Live or Celestial Spirit character, so she can get quite meaty, which is very difficult to get over. And when your battle opponent becomes reversed, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them in the top of the deck in any order, so you can manipulate the top cards of your deck. She's very handy for manipulating your triggers, whether you want to hit them or not. She's also very handy in seeing what's coming next, so you've got no nasty surprises. I just like this card. I like this card quite a lot, and it seems to be very difficult to get over. The only problem with this card, though, is that obviously it's got no encore, so if she dies, she's dead. It's not like the Kurumi where you can ditch one encore. And then on to the level 3s. So here is the best card in Data Live. I understand why this is on the ban list and why it stayed there. This card is quite frankly nuts. She gains 1,000 power when she's placed on the stage if you've got 2 or more. She also heals 1 when she's placed on stage as well. From your hand, mind you. If you tutor her out with a standby, she doesn't gain the heal ability. But, and bear in mind, these effects are all free. So if Fearless Smile, so this climax is in your climax area, you can do one of 3 abilities. You can either stock shuffle them, so that means that they put their stock to their waiting room, and then off the top of the deck they will, or stock swap should I say, not stock shuffle. So that means that they will take all the cards from their stock, put them into their waiting room, and then put the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock. Especially in a compression meta like this, that is very, very nasty, because not only do you have the ability, if your opponent is quite compressed, to hit a number of climaxes, you also get rid of their deck, which forces them to put in probably what is a fairly clean stock into their waiting room. And if you get through their deck, they are now having to put all of those clean cards back into their deck when they refresh. You've also got the option to take 3 cards out of their waiting room, put them into their deck, shuffle their deck, which obviously decompresses them as well. You also have Ditch 2, Burn 3, which is a very, very, very nice card indeed. So if you get 2 of these out, and by the way, it's really important that you get both of these out. This is a really nasty finisher because you can do, for example, a stock shuffle on this one and then a burn 3 on this one. That is a very, very nice way to close out the game. But unfortunately, she is on the ban list, so there's other ways that we can deal with that. So here's just a tech card that is very nice to tutor out if you can get it. She's not a massive priority. All this is a 2k boost to the cards in front of it, and when she's played, look at the top 3 cards, add 1. I think that's it. Yes, it is. Yeah. So sorry, I'm explaining this card wrong. I'm doing a terrible job. I do apologise. I'm still recovering from a head cold. So when she's placed on, you can choose one of the following abilities. And it's look at top 3, add a card, or salvage 1 from waiting room, and then all of your characters get plus 1,001 soul. So she's very nice to use. You don't have to use it all the time. Sometimes you do want to be swinging small. Like I said, it is a compression meta. She's very nice for the boost, but more often than not, you aren't going to be playing her from hand. You're going to be tutoring her out with a standby. So moving on to just some tech options. This is just an early play heal. I just like this. It's something nice and big to get out, especially if you want to start healing down damage. That's all you really use her for. She's just big. However, you've got 2 icy tails here. So essentially they do the same thing. When this is placed on stage, look at top 3 cards, put them on the deck in any order, so you're manipulating what your triggers may be. And then pay 1 and sack a character from waiting room to the bottom of your clock. When it attacks, if you've got 4 or more characters, mill the bottom 4 cards of their deck, so icy tail the bottom 4 and burn 1 for each climax. Then this is, you've got 2 or more characters, this card gains 1/5, and the ability when this card battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put that character into your opponent's memory, so she's a memory kick, which is a very, very nice card. It can get rid of problem characters as well. You can also heal 1 when she's played, and then it's pay 3, ditch a character, mill bottom 5, and she gets 2k. Obviously icy tail bottom 5, it's quite nice. You can get rid of a lot of your opponent's climaxes with that. So just moving on to some potential tech choices here, or some things that you can swap out. So just one I want to start with is just a generally good card. It's the Wind Twins. This works very well with the deck. It can also add a little bit more to the yellow count if you need. And so what can end up happening is this card is on play, you can either heal 1 or burn 1. Or if you ditch 2 cards, you can heal 1 and burn 1. This is just a boost that you can have on the back row if you want just some fodder for your level 0 Kurumi Brainstorm. She also gives 1,000 in front as well, or 500 in front, sorry. She's very nice. And when your character triggers when your character reveals a trigger on attack, you can give something 2,000. You can tap this card and give something else 500 as well. It's just very nice for boosting. I don't feel like you need this at the moment in the meta, just because the meta is quite low power at the moment. Here is the original Kurumi that you used to run. You can run this over this if you so wanted. These two are interchangeable. I personally like this a little bit more than this, just because I like being able to manipulate the top cards of my deck a little bit. And then you can run, if you so wished, the actual climax, the actual character combo for this climax. I wouldn't suggest running this unless you're building the deck around this, but she certainly is an option. So I think these following cards are the most viable tech options. So just start with the backups. You've got a memory kick backup, which is very nice, just very, very nice. You also have this Yoshino backup, which is ditch 2 from hand, give something... oh, sorry, I'm misreading things. Ditch 2 from hand. If you do, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into the waiting room, and then if you do, choose a character with higher level than your opponent's level and put it into their clock. So it's a clock swap. It's something very nice to get rid of, say, Alice's, for example. And that's it, really. This, just a bit of deck speed. It's also a blink if you're going against decks with character traits or that rely heavily on them. That's it, really. And then pay 1, put this card into waiting room, look at top 4, choose a Date Alive or Celestial Spirit character. Now this one is, I think, the most viable tech option. This origami gives a little bit more blue count if you so want, but it's also the pay 1, ditch 2, on attack, search your deck for 2 Celestial Date Alive or Celestial Spirit characters. She's a 2k body as well, which is quite nice for the early game. But this, I think, if you open this, I think it not only sets you can ditch some cards to your waiting room, so you might ditch some level 1s for your standby combos or something like that in prep for next turn. But also what she will do is she will allow you to grab both of these early game. And that is a very, very, very handy piece of equipment that you can use there. This card is just so good. So good. I'm heavily considering running maybe 1 or 2 copies of this card, this origami, just to help the deck, because this deck, yes, it does have a few options, other options to end the game with. Yes, it does have a big board, but you really, really, really want to be ending on your Kurumis just because she is such a good card. Anyway, that's about it for the deck profile. Apologies that things were a bit rough and a bit choppy at points. I had to correct myself on some things. I'm still getting back into this, but I've got a few videos in the works. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and God bless.